Hello, and welcome to the ever-fascinating and intriguing world of Pokemon. I'm Professor Noki, and you're here for the news on Noki Talks. Today, I would like to begin by giving my overall reaction and feelings of that awesome Pokemon Direct this past Wednesday, June 5th. For those of you who haven't seen it, I suggest you head over right now to the official Pokemon channel and check it out. It is such a great look into the new world of Galar and these games that we will be getting. First of all, these games look amazing, and I think most of the general reaction to these games is about the same as mine. It seems even those people that were skeptical or hesitant or cautious going into these games have been completely won over by the hard work that Game Freak and Nintendo and Pokemon have put into these games. We saw an expansive world with huge cities and so many possibilities we have yet to see. Game Freak gave us just a taste of all of the great things they have brought to us in this game. To start with, they gave us 7 new Pokemon from the Galar region. Wooloo, Dreadnought, Corviknight, Gossifleur, its evolution Eldegoss, Zacian, and Zamazenta. To me, all of these Pokemon look amazing, and I cannot wait to catch them and use them in battle. And speaking of the Pokemon in the overworld! This is a recreation of my general reaction when I saw this. Let's just say my children were slightly frightened. Not only are Pokemon in the overworld, but they have done such a great job to just really integrate these models into the overworld to make them look natural and just part of the world. And the world itself looks absolutely stunning as well. In the first trailer we saw glimpses of this, but nothing like what we were shown in this last Direct. We saw the wide open landscapes, the peaks of the mountains, the trees, the sunsets, the nighttime, the weather system. There is such a dynamic world in Galar that we have yet to even see, and I am so excited for that. I cannot wait to see more of the new Pokemon that inhabit the Galar region, and maybe even some of the new forms and variations of Pokemon that we already know and love. Next, I would like to discuss some of the amazing new mechanics and some of the updated old mechanics that we were given a glimpse of in the Direct. First of all, the wild area. This is such an amazing turn of events for this game. There was many leaks and rumors beforehand saying that there would be some form of open world concept to this game, and Game Freak delivered. This area seems to be one giant open expanse, with wild Pokemon roaming freely everywhere, and various weather and night and day and possibly seasonal effects that will change the interaction that you have with the Pokemon that are there. And from what it looked like in the Direct, we'll even be able to catch Pokemon in their upper evolutionary forms, judging from the Steelix, Braviary, and Tyranitar, just to name a few from the Direct. Also in this wild area are these giant Dynamax raid battles. Now my first reaction to these was very confused, but still open-minded to the possibilities. The more I rewatched the Direct and heard other people's perspectives, the more I really started to gain a love and understanding for what this new feature really is. And quite honestly, I don't think we've even seen the full extent of what these are. Which brings me to the next thing I would like to discuss, which is the multiplayer function in this game. Now, the way that they worded it in the Direct was that by connecting with your friends, there would be new ways to play and enjoy the wild area. They did not specifically say this was only limited to the Raid Max battles. So in my thoughts, this could lead to the possibility that there are other things you can do with your friends in this wild area. Now, it would be a dream of mine, and maybe likely, that you could possibly even roam this wild area as a wide open, somewhat MMO-like experience, but that's yet to be seen completely. One thing that we did get a small glimpse of in this wild area is camping. All that we really saw of it was a tent in the background of the play with the Pokemon feature in this game. Like with Sun and Moon and X and Y, this game introduces the ability to play with your Pokemon, possibly to restore values and heal status conditions. But in this one, it seemed like there was different toys and a tent in the background that lead others and myself to believe that there will be some form of tenting and camping feature in this game in the wild area. One of the returning features is the fly feature from Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, where there's a dedicated Pokemon that's like a taxi service that can take you from one location to another. In this game, instead of there being a Charizard like in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, there's a Corviknight. This feature looks absolutely awesome and I cannot wait to see the full extent of it. One of the things that got me so pumped in this direct was to see bicycle riding make a return. Throughout every single game, I have been an avid bicycle rider, as I am in real life. I've always loved that they've tried to change up the bicycle riding mechanic and add different features and fun, enjoyable things to get through the world. And in this game, it's no different. From what we saw, not only are you going to be able to ride across the ground on the bike, but somehow your Rotom is going to be able to connect with the bike to be able to get you across water and probably even other terrains as well. A lot of people think that this means there won't be the Pokemon Ride feature returning in this game. However, I still have hope that there will be certain Pokemon you'll be able to ride on, because I just feel like it would make sense considering they had the mechanic in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and it would not be that much different from having them in the overworld already. Which also brings me to a mechanic that we did not see, but I still have some hope we might get, which is following Pokemon. Or at least having the capability of choosing a Pokemon that can follow you if you'd like. If they already have all the 3D models for the Pokemon walking in the overworld, it really wouldn't make much difference to have them have one follow the trainer as well. Another feature that I saw return that absolutely filled my heart with joy was berry shaking. This goes back to some of the earliest generations of Pokemon and always was one of my favorite things to do. Seek out all of the different trees and berries and have a collection of berries at your disposal. And in this game, it looks like they're introducing a mix between newer mechanics where Pokemon will probably attack when you shake the tree, and the older mechanics of the actual tree shaking instead of it just being a pile on the ground like in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. We also got to see a number of new locations up close and personal, including some of the great architecture throughout the cities, some of the landscapes, the Diglett runes, an up close look at the gym, and just the overall beauty and expansiveness of Galar. It gets me so excited, and I just cannot wait for November to come around to see even more of this world. They also introduced us to a little bit of foreshadowing to the story and the characters that we would get to know. We got to see one of our earliest rivals, Hop, who seems to follow the recent trend of friendly rivals like How from Sun and Moon. Now, some people are a little discouraged by this, however, I think we'll be introduced to more rivals, kind of like we were in Sun and Moon with Gladion, that add more complexity and dynamic to what it means to be a rival. I kind of like that Game Freak does this, and they don't just give us one experience of what a rival would be. Speaking of Hop, we saw his brother Leon, who's the champion of this region, and seems to be an extremely powerful Pokemon trainer. Now, they gave us the indication that he was extremely popular and famous throughout Galar, although they also seem to foreshadow that this might be one of his biggest downfalls. Sonia seems like an extremely fun character in this game also, and her connection with Professor Magnolia and possibly even Leon adds a lot of intrigue to what the role she'll play in the story might be. Speaking of Professor Magnolia, it made me so happy to see her character as she is in this game. It's the perfect follow-up from Professor Kukui in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon from the Alolan region, in somebody who would be elder and wise, a lot like Professor Oak in the first generation. She also seemed extremely kind and generous and funny as well, just from the very small picture we were painted in this direct. Overall, one of the things that made me extremely excited about the dynamic of these characters in the game was just how lifelike and realistic they really made them. If you watch the way they stand and the way they even interact with themselves while they're talking, like the way that Sonia twirls her hair or Professor Magnolia plays with her glasses, it just adds a whole new realm of realism that gets you into the game a lot further. And as some of you know, there was some Pokemon links that came out a few weeks before the Pokemon Direct, and it hinted to even more complexity and depth to these characters and the Pokemon that will be seen in the Galar region and the mechanics. So if you're somebody who would like to see more about that, I can link to that in the description below. There's also tons of videos here on YouTube explaining and breaking it down in full. But overall, I do agree with a lot of people that these leaks seem very accurate and paint an even bigger picture for us of what we're going to be seeing in the upcoming games. Now on to Pokemon Go. For those of you who don't know, yesterday was Pokemon Go's Community Day for June, and we saw Slackoth highlighted as the Pokemon. I myself did not get the opportunity to go out and catch a shiny Slackoth, unfortunately, but I know that many of you did, and so I say congratulations to you. And for those of you living in the Chicago area, for a limited time from June 13th through the 16th, you guys will be able to catch a Jirachi, the mythical Pokemon. It's unclear whether more people will be given this opportunity, but for now, this is happening during Go Fest, June 13th to 16th in Chicago. Also, just a couple things to lightly touch on if you haven't seen. Officially licensed Pokemon weddings are now a thing in Japan, and I personally hope these extend over to America. I know I'm already married, but I think they're absolutely amazing and so much fun. If you didn't get a chance to see, I suggest you go check it out because there's so many fun decorations and events and games and activities that the Pokemon Company has committed to these events. Also, I'll be linking in the description below. There was an interview with a couple of top executives from the Pokemon Trading Card Company where they sat down and gave explanations of all the different tag teams and their choices for them for the Pokemon Trading Card game. And it was interesting to me, so I figured I would pass it along to you as well. Now, outside of the Pokemon world. First up, for the Avengers game. I talked about this in my last discussion, however we've been given more information as to when we will exactly see the reveal of this game, which is on Monday, June 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Another follow-up from my last video would be the topic of Baldur's Gate 3. When I recorded my last video, there was just a tease with this image online, but then at Stadia's presentation, they unveiled Baldur's Gate 3. We were only given a theatrical trailer. However, from what we were shown, this game looks absolutely amazing. It made me immediately want to play the first two games to catch back up on the story and see where they're going to pick up from. It will be so awesome to see this franchise make the leap into modern day graphics and gameplay. In a somewhat related topic, I would also like to give my opinion on Stadia. Now, I won't go into a full breakdown of the pricing and the requirements and everything else that we were shown in their presentation. However, I would like to say that there's nothing really wrong, in my opinion, with the product and the service that they're trying to sell. There is a certain demographic of people that this appeals to, and I think that they're going to get those people immediately to buy on. And maybe when these services become more applicable for the general public, Stadia will be there leading the way. Another fantastic game that we were given an in-depth look at was Jedi: The Fallen Order. Now, I've been an avid Star Wars fan for pretty much my entire life, just like Pokemon, and I love all the movies, comics, games, and content that is available out there. This game looks absolutely stunning, and I'm so excited for the amount of care and work it looks like that was put into making this game. They really made it look like a real-life Jedi experience, and they even perfectly incorporated the clumsiness and stupidity of the Stormtroopers. I personally cannot wait until this game drops and I have the opportunity to play it. And as I'm sure most of you are aware, E3 is right here around the corner, and I'm really excited to see all the new updates and news and gameplay and trailers and reveals that we're probably going to be given here in the upcoming week. That's going to be it for me today, guys. I appreciate you joining me in this discussion of the games and news that intrigued me this past week. I look forward to next week and all the things that we're going to see at the E3 presentation. Let me know in the comments down below, what was your favorite reveal in the Pokemon Direct that we saw? What is your most anticipated event at the upcoming E3? Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, this has been Professor Noki, signing out for Noki Talks.